Real good fish there, Frank. Yeah, well, that would definitely help the bag. Those are those kicker fish I was talking about.
Look at this guy. Look at the belly on this one. Holy cow, you think this guy's been eating? Look at down this fish's mouth. What do you think he's eating? Mr. Crayfish didn't make it home tonight. That one just hit the water. And that fish was on.
Time on the Water is brought to you in part by Shimano Rods and Reels.
Oh no, it's a big old smallie. This is a giant deer. Look at this fish. This is 6 pounds. Time on the Water Outdoors is your fishing and hunting boating center. We have boats from Bass Cat, Sea Ark, Skeeter. Next time you're visiting Time on the Water Outdoors, make sure you stop in Big Buck Archery. We're proud to have newly remodeled and expanded our archery division. We now have an indoor 45-yard range. We're happy to carry Mathews, Mission, and Hoyt bows. We have a complete archery pro shop. Stop in for the best deal and the best attention you can get. You know, I just got to fish with a new friend, Chris Mobley, up on the Mississippi River in La Crosse. It's actually Mississippi Pool 8. It was 95 to 100 degrees the whole week before the trip. It was 50 the day we got there with changing weather, threatening weather. But Chris lives there in Sparta, and he took us out on the river and showed us a couple places, and boy, did we have a good time. Not a big one, but our first fish up here at La Crosse. It's not bad. All right. We're on the Mississippi River up in La Crosse, Wisconsin. It's just a little baby. We actually are meeting some friends who work at Mathews Archery, Mathews Bow, in Mission. Mathews in Mission. Nice little guy. And unfortunately he had to work for the morning, so we're going to meet him out here in a few hours. But I launched the boat, and this particular area I'm in, I hadn't fished before, so you know me, I'm just in throwing around some boat docks. And about the 5th cast, we had caught that one. This pool is absolutely full of fish. The Bassmaster Elite Series comes here. There's tournaments here almost every weekend. Just killer largemouth and smallmouth fishing, and we're hoping in the next couple days, we're going to be up here a few, that we get to sample a little both of that. But there was a start. But it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. I got him coming up on topwater. Yeah, he's just a little dude. He's not so bad, but catching topwater fish at like 10:30 in the morning is all right. I had one blow up on it earlier that I thought was a smallie. That's just a little 10-incher. We need them way bigger than that, but it's fun. I knew when he came up on it twice, I think it was the same fish, missed it once, and I didn't think he was too big. But sometimes it's deceiving. You know, we got on the water before Chris got there. He had to work half a day, and so he wasn't going to get out there until about lunch. So we launched the boat and I fished a little bit, and I didn't want to run far away from the launch ramp. And the area that we launched our boat on is kind of a backwater area of the Mississippi River called the Black River. So I was just fishing obvious structure. I looked around some marinas, we did some riprap areas, some bridge locations, and I caught some fish. And then when we went out with Chris, he was able to show us some kind of more secret stuff. So the two together really worked. Using a little Jackal walking topwater bait. This thing has been awesome. It's not as big as the old walking baits. It's a little slimmer profile, and it just seems to get more bites. A little better. Still throwing this topwater bait, which I'll explain in a minute, might not seem like the obvious choice, but so far, ooh, that one's a little better. I was just about to say, might not seem like the obvious choice. Yesterday it was 92 degrees. Just another little 12, maybe 13 incher. Yesterday was 92. We woke up, got in the boat this morning, was 49. Without a doubt the biggest cold front of the season so far. And the things we got going for us are, first, we're on a river where, you know, are less affected by cold fronts, and then this pool up here in La Crosse just has so many fish in it that even with the effects of the cold front, there's still some that are willing to bite. And I think this topwater bite is just getting reaction strikes. It's not, you know, a lot of those fish may be dormant or inactive, but this one's getting them to fire up. So I'm gonna keep throwing it. When we were just idling through this area, I'm not sure what he is yet, and we saw the birds feeding on some fish coming through. Well, largemouth, nice one. And they were diving, they stopped. Just a little dude. Hit it hard though. Let's see if there's, I think there were a lot of them in there. Picked up a swim jig. It's just a great bait to throw. Up here on this upper Mississippi, you can throw it to just about anything. They like it. Kind of emulates a little shad or some kind of bait fish. But I'd like to see if there's some more. That one was all over that one. You know, bass on a river like the Mississippi River, you know, move seasonally just like they do anywhere else. They summer, you know, in deeper places, you know, usually off ledges or drops and weeds where they can feed. And then spring, you know, they come in and spawn, they fatten up, and then in the fall they kind of do the same thing again. What's always the challenge is just identifying those places in a short amount of time that we had up there. That's where our ace in the hole, Chris, came, you know, from. He was able to put us right where some of the fish were, and really helped us in fish finding locations. Once he got in the boat, we just started catching. Got one?
Yeah. This might actually be a good one.
Looks like a pretty good one. Nice. Well, I wouldn't mind 5 of those in a tournament. So was that in the grass, could you feel, or?
I think it was just like right off where it drops.
Uh-huh.
I think that sand comes down and just starts, I think they're just sitting right on that bend.
So is that about an average fish here?
Probably a little bit bigger, but yeah, I mean, right now there's a lot more of these younger fish.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, I mean 2-pounders or so. I don't know if he's quite 2 pounds, but he's close. A lot of 2-pounders are average, you know, for what most people are catching. That's why in a tournament out here, especially, if you can catch a 3-pounder for a kicker fish, that's usually what it'll take you to get you up there, you know, on the higher places up.
Nice. Well, hopefully there'll be a few of them there.
Time on the Water is brought to you by Humminbird Electronics. Simply, clearly, better.
Welcome to the Inner Circle. Rotating coverage up to 300 feet gives you a detailed 360-degree view of structure, contour changes, and fish. So you can see them before they see you. Incredible 360 imaging, available for your transom and now for your bow, putting you at the center of the 360 revolution. Only from Humminbird.
From freshwater to saltwater, anglers depend on PowerPro to provide a fish-catching edge over standard monofilament or even other super braids. The use of the exclusive enhanced body technology provides a rounder, smoother, slicker, and structurally superior ultra-strong braid line, enhancing pitching and flipping, jigging, casting, trolling, and big game fishing. PowerPro provides specific benefits to every situation an angler encounters and opens the door to waters never fished before.
I'm on the Water Outdoors as your fishing and hunting boating center. We have boats from Bass Cat, Sea Ark, Skeeter. Next time you're visiting Time on the Water Outdoors, make sure you stop in Big Buck Archery. We're proud to have newly remodeled and expanded our archery division. We now have an indoor 45-yard range. We're happy to carry Mathews, Mission, and Hoyt bows. We have a complete archery pro shop. Stop in for the best deal and the best attention you can get.
Think GPS is just for getting you to the lake? Think again. The new iPilot wireless GPS trolling system can hold your boat in place like an electronic anchor. Record and retrace productive fishing paths, automatically keep you on any bearing you choose, and take total command of speed and steering. iPilot controls your boat with wireless GPS precision so you can focus on fishing. And it's only from Minn Kota.
Time on the Water is brought to you by Minn Kota Trolling Motors. Anywhere, anytime.
We've pulled up in that little point there. Before we had once in a while we'll have an employee bass fishing tournament through Mathews, where a bunch of us guys just kind of get together and come out here for fun, and everybody throws in $10 and we buy a couple of bragging rights trophies. And we pulled in there one year when we had it, and right off that point, and literally there had to have been a huge school of 2-3 pounders sitting there because we limited out like a half hour before the weigh-in. We ended up winning first place, which is always good, especially when you're fishing against guys you work with, when you kind of rub it in every day.
How many employees are there on Mathews? In Mission?
I think currently there's close to 300.
Wow.
And we've been expanding a lot. They just built a new machine shop off the back, so they bought a bunch of more CNC machines, and they hired a bunch of more people on. And just recently too, they also added another shift to our string departments. So they actually run 3 8-hour shifts, just like our machine shop, in the string area, so we can get stuff out a lot faster. We found that, at least when I was helping out, that the faster we could get the stuff out the door, obviously it's better customer service for you guys and us being able to deliver stuff faster.
We ended up fishing in a bay off the Black River that Chris had identified for us, and to be quite honest, I rode by it earlier that day when I was looking for fishing locations because I thought it was just a big shallow bay. It turned out to have some depth with some grass lines and drop-offs, and he kind of knew the key spots already in it, and we fished around that bay and really caught some nice largemouth. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to switch to something fish slow like you.
I don't know what it is. I tried fishing, crankbaits and stuff, and you'd think for how much they're feeding on shad, they'd really want to chase it. And, chase these balls of bait fish, but I don't know, it seemed like the fish that I had found, they were wanting it a lot slower, and I told Artie that before that tournament last week, and I'm like, you guys are gonna do good. I was like, I think you should fish slow and kind of work your way through. I was like, I know it's an agonizing drain on you, but for whatever reason, all the fish we caught, they were, fishing slow with a jig or like these Bama craws. There's one. That's another good one.
Nice.
He's smaller. Not a bad fish still.
Well, you're gonna make me change baits. If you need pliers, I got them.
not the biggest fish in there, but I guess when you're catching them, they're all good ones, right?
Yeah. I was thinking I'll go down this bank. We could always work back that way if you want. I had a tube tied on with an exposed head. I didn't know if I was going to be able to work it through there. I just popped it a couple times and boom. Well, that's all right. I'm learning. And you can and you'll go down this and catch largemouth, smallmouth. They'll just be mixed.
Usually, if there's smallies in here, they'll be off that point right when we came around the corner there.
Like I said, I'll go down this a little bit and I'll turn around, go into the wind. We'll be able to fish it slower.
Say, you can see kind of where that last little clump sticks out.
Yeah.
If you can fish this all the way down there, it's kind of all the same. Yep, another little guy.
Uh-oh, getting smaller.
That's not good. When they start getting close to the same size as the bait.
That's all right.
At least they're up in here, I guess. But that's the weird thing. That, like with the river, it's just like, I'm sure, like a lake. You got to weed through a lot of the small ones because they're usually a little more aggressive, and then you start catching some of the bigger ones. I've seen guys pull off spots that you'll see them catching fish in there. They pull off just because they think they're all small ones, but usually the smaller ones, you know, they're more aggressive. You pull in there and heck, they did all the work for you.
Yeah, they got rid of the easy ones.
Yeah. I think what a lot of them are doing is sitting right on this drop off.
Right.
And I think these shad get pushed in here. That's why I was kind of happy that it was a north wind, because it should be pushing these bait fish up into here. It's been kind of weird because we've had north winds almost every day for like probably the last 3, 4, 5 days. I know that when we were fishing the tournament here a couple weeks ago, some of the guys that are in, we have like a flippin' fun tournament that we fish, Artie and all of us. It's nothing real expensive, it's not for big money, but I know that we were fishing just across over the channel there, and those guys came through here and they caught their only keepers.
Wow.
It was pretty rough that day too.
You know, a cold front in the spring is really the worst because, you know, fish are, their genetics, their internal, you know, their body is telling them to go in and spawn, to come in, you know, to get ready. And a cold front can just knock them back down and really stop that. Once they're already in their summer pattern, it's not as difficult. And in the fall, not that bad either. You know, there's times when that cold front will really hurt you. The spring's the worst. If you do have to fish during cold frontal, you know, situations, a river is probably your best choice. And this one, it didn't slow us down much.
I just tied on a swim jig. I'm going to throw that with you. Well, he's all
That's
right.
a little bit better one.
Yeah.
He ate that thing. He didn't snip it.
We should mention too that yesterday was 92 degrees and this morning it was like 39.
Yeah, can you believe that? It's a nice, healthy looking fish though.
Yeah. Beautiful. Keep getting them.
You got a trailer of any sort on there?
I do.
Okay. I was gonna say.
I don't have a paddle tail. I got a regular.
No, I don't know what it is. They like that extra movement.
Yeah.
Maybe actually more.
Yeah, the one I caught earlier on a swim jig just rocked it like that one you had.
There's one.
All right.
Another good one. Hit it right at the boat.
Nice. I don't care where they hit it. See, that's why we bring the professional.
Another decent fish. See, a lot of them, seems like the DNR must know what they're doing, because I tell you what, this fishery, Frank, for out of all the places that I've fished, I think it's probably got the most fish for like just catching all around. I mean, when we go fish lakes and stuff, you know, you get your handful of fish that, you know, are decent, but if you're really looking to have fun and catch a lot of like quantity, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it on TV when the elites come here and stuff. I mean, they just absolutely always brag this place up at the number of fish they catch, and I think some days your thumb gets a little sore, but
you can deal with it.
Yeah.
Time on the Water is brought to you in part by Shimano Rods and Reels.
Oh no, it's a big old smallie. This is a giant here. Look at this fish. This is 6 pounds.
Time on the Water Outdoors is your fishing and hunting boating center. We have boats from Bass Cat, Sea Ark, Skeeter. Next time you're visiting Time on the Water Outdoors, make sure you stop in Big Buck Archery. We're proud to have newly remodeled and expanded our archery division. We now have an indoor 45-yard range. We're happy to carry Mathews, Mission, and Hoyt bows. We have a complete archery pro shop. Stop in for the best deal and the best attention you can get.
Hold it right there. The Minn Kota Talon locks you onto a fishing spot with unmatched speed and stealth. And when Mother Nature tries to knock you off your mark, hit back with the strongest hold on the water. Talon, stand your ground. Welcome to the inner circle. Rotating coverage up to 300 feet gives you a detailed 360-degree view of structure, contour changes, and fish. So you can see them before they see you. Incredible 360 imaging, available for your transom and now for your bow, putting you at the center of the 360 revolution, only from Humminbird.
Time on the Water is brought to you by Humminbird Electronics. Simply, clearly, better.
Pretty decent one?
Yeah. Yeah, you'd want this one in your tournament.
Yeah? Oh yeah. Real nice fish. Real good fish there, Frank. Yeah, well, that would definitely help the bag. Those are those kicker fish I was talking about.
We're actually fishing schooling fish right now. They're coming up all around us. That's a beautiful fish. We're in the back of a bay that Chris knew, and baits popping here and there, and you have to be able to make a long cast, but they're definitely in there feeding. And I think the majority of the fish aren't that size, but there's a few that are. And since you got in the boat, what have we caught? 6 or 7 already?
Yeah. Check out the gar.
Big
Right
one?
here?
Yeah.
Decent size.
That's a cool thing about the Mississippi, like everything lives here. You're fishing up that way. I'm still watching them back here.
Oh, don't tell me you got it.
You know, one of the baits that really works well in the Mississippi River, actually works anywhere, but it seems to shine out there, is a swim jig, and it's just a lead head jig, usually with a pointy head, you know, a little more streamlined, and you put either a paddle tail or a curly tail grub on it and just reel it in like you were fishing a spinnerbait. It's not hard to fish. Anybody can fish it. Usually has a light wire hook, so the hook penetrates really good. You don't have to give it a big hook set. And for some reason, that just is the primary tool out there. The pattern we were using was kind of white and chartreuse, kind of bait fish. And it seemed like any structure up there, that thing would catch fish.
See, on the front of the boat here where we're at, Frank, it's 18 feet, and there's like nice flat right there, and I think those fish are schooling these shad right up against that edge of that weed line.
Right.
I think that's why they're kind of all popping out here a little bit past, you know, that 6 to 8 foot spot, because they're kind of balling them up and chasing them out into the, or chasing them towards the weed line from the deeper water.
But when I started fishing, I don't think for years I even owned a swim jig.
Not a bad one. Was he pretty close to the shore there? Seeing if I remember right, I think that drops off fairly decent. Yeah, that'll work.
Stayed with the swim jig. Keeper. Not a giant, just all nice fish. That's what we're using, just a swim jig. This one's white chartreuse, a little silver. I think Chris is using there's another fish coming up.
Yeah, that's right where that point is that comes out. See what happens is this bank kind of comes up and then it scoops out, and there's like a little jetty, or not jetty, but a little flat that comes out. You can kind of see where it gets light when it goes out. And there's grass up on there. And sometimes they'll, like what you just caught there, they'll be right in that little pocket. Kind of like when we started over there. They'll sit in those little pockets, and I think they just wait for the bait fish to come kind of cruising through. Usually it's a little bit deeper right in there. It's what we probably in about, yeah, we're in 22 feet of water, and probably 30 yards off the bank, if that.
Yeah, that guy nipped at it once and then just got it.
You know, here at Time on the Water Outdoors and Big Buck Archery, you know, a big part of our business is the archery side. Chris is actually a service rep for Mathews, you know, archery, world's leading bow manufacturer, and he had just come to our open house and actually helped a lot of customers, talk to customers, you know, so we got to talk about this trip a little bit, you know, before we got going. Actually went the very next week. So Mathews is located up in Sparta, Wisconsin, which is just 20 minutes from La Crosse. He fishes it all the time. He was able to meet us, put us on the right fish, and actually we fished a little bit after that, you know, and everything he showed us continued to work. I really want to thank him for first coming down to our open house with Mathews and then taking us out on the river. It was really a great trip.
Got her down there a little deeper. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, you can tell they're hungry, because man,
They're
definitely eating it. Yeah, they're not short and getting in the edge of the lip by any means.
Good job.
Nice, healthy looking fish too. That would definitely help.